Welcome back to Portland for what stands to be the warmest Grand Prix here in history.
Rinus VeeKay in the number 18 car. Start your engines. Everybody else, hang back a couple laps.
To turn one, Pato O'Ward with a good start, but look at Rosenqvist coming up alongside the McLaren man, moving to the outside as Palou gets swamped around him. Everybody making it through pretty neat and tidy. No big crash there, and that is job one done. Palou with a little wobble on exit, and he's managed to get his way past David Malukas, but it's Pato O'Ward who leads from Felix Rosenqvist.
Oh, Daly trying to make it around the outside of Rasmussen in 7. That's
oh, and he's bumped him off.
They both go off.
Contact between those two. Daly will be fuming, I'm sure, with that. Daly was leading the pack of drivers who had already come in to stop, was on the soft tyre. As Louis Foster now trying to take advantage of Daly with dirt all over his tyres, and the rookie gets through as well.
That really held up Daly's teammate Stingray Robb as well, who had to check up. Chaos down there in the last corner. Abel getting a little bit squirrely.
And all of those drivers could come into play.
How he can get away with that? That's insane.
Wow, now Foster putting the move on Rasmussen. That's nice, really nice from the rookie. Daly trying to get through as well, and that's a little bit of afters from Connor Daly. That's frustration seeping out of him.
Well, it didn't quite work, and now he's at risk of losing another spot to Rinus VeeKay. Just gets it done, but
that was a forceful lunge from Connor Daly. Total frustration down in turn 2 at the apex. That could have taken both of them out. Luckily, they survive, and Connor is determined now all over the back of Rasmussen. There they are exiting turn 7, and it looks like Connor will have a run.
Guys, this is a tight pack right here, heading down the back straight. Nolan Siegel ahead of Dev DiFrancesco at the front here. A little bit of defense. And
there in the background, Daly trying to get the move on Rasmussen. Oh! Big hit. That is big.
And that was...
It felt like that has been coming for a lap and a half.
Well, he just drove him straight off. That was totally uncalled for, and we'll need to see that one a little bit earlier on if we can. It's tough to see how it started.
That's a horrible hit. Let's hear what the race leader is hearing.
So, Palou, just give an update on what happened there. So, when we stopped, it's a fuel 83 to the end, and any more that this caution drags on, the fuel number gets easier and easier to do. So we did the stop under yellow instead of under green.
So that's why Pato pitted. He's currently down in P13. Oh, no, what? Has he got a problem?
Oh, he does.
I think he's got a problem.
Good. That sounded terminal for Pato O'Ward.
You hear the engine note drop.
Oh,
that does look terminal. That's it.
P0 and back to P2. Try P0, back to P2.
They're hoping to restart the car, hoping it's an electrical issue.
And that's why we lost the camera feed. Trying to Control Alt delete it.
Oh, what an absolute shame for the pole sitter.
But Jack Harvey, what can you tell us about Pato O'Ward?
It's not looking good, Will. They're actually going to change the DCU on that car. Obviously, as you can imagine, there's a lot of Chevy guys who have come immediately down to see if they can help diagnose this problem and then get Pato out as quickly as possible, and let's just hope he can.
The control unit on the electronics for the car.
That's not what you want. When you pit for fresh softs, you want some clean air to knock out some fast laps. As Power's in now as well, and with 11 laps of caution, I'm surprised they didn't go further than 34 laps.
Jack.
Yeah, Will Power on his way in now. We know that the 12 can be so good on pit stops. You're going to see them go to a used set of the soft tire. He had about 11 seconds lead over Alex Palou, and I think that clearly right now is just showing the pace advantage of this soft tire compared to the hard, and he's actually going to transition out onto the track right as you see the 10 now coming into the pits. Hits his marks really, really well. I just get a feeling that this strategy, Alex Palou does things on some of these hard tires that we aren't able to see from other people. Interested to watch this unfold.
And Power has got out ahead of Felix Rosenqvist. Lundgaard takes the advantage to move past. Rosenqvist, who started on the front row of the grid because he can see Will Power ahead of him. This very much now the fight for the prospective victory of this race, and it is playing out into the hands of Will Power. What a brilliant stint from Power, what brilliant strategy from Penske to get him in, get him out, ahead of those who started on that front row of the grid. Lundgaard moves past Rosenqvist, but Power is ahead of them all. Could this be Will Power's day in a season in which Penske has toiled through trouble and tribulation and has recorded not a single victory, staring at their first winless season of this millennium? Could this be Will Power's day?
So now we get to see what kind of pace Will Power has on those fresh reds as his teammate Joseph Newgarden comes in. He'll go to use red tires. Now during this, Alex Palou making his first stint on the soft tire, but he's buried deep in traffic. That's not what you want, James, as you said with McLaughlin. Now Palou is kind of trapped, and he's going to have to pass a lot of cars to take advantage of that additional grip. Alex Palou probably knows at this point what's going on with Pato Award, knows he likely has cinched his 4th championship, his 3rd in a row, but he will now turn his attention to the record book. In order to win today, he needs to get forward. He's got to get past Marcus Armstrong. That gap that was 10 and then became 12 is now 15 seconds. And he can't let this gap get too big, because once Will Power goes to the harder black tire, his lap times are going to slow down, but maybe not enough if this gap continues to grow for Palou.
Palou can clinch the title today, finishing exactly where he is given what has befallen Pato O'Ward, but he will not be content with a simple top 10. He won't be content even with a podium. He wants the victory. He needs the victory because he wants to make history. He is chasing the record of 11 wins for the season as he puts the move on Marcus Armstrong on the run down the backstretch, and that's nicely done and easily done for Alex Palou. He has 8 for the season. 1 more would match Mario Andretti. An additional win on top of that would match Unser and Foyt. If he can win the final 3 races of the season, it would be a record all of his own. Right now, Will Power is driving magnificently. Christian Lundgaard pitted while we were away and has dropped down the order.
Traffic soon.
We wait to see how everything shakes out. But Will Palou sits 2nd for the time being.
All right, let's do it. Keep me updated on the gap every 2 laps.
He wants the update. He wants the information because he has clean air in front of him as he looks to dig into that gap with Will Power, who will have to still run that harder, black, slower Firestone at some point right here.
He is going to need the drive of a lifetime, the drive of a champion today to make up a 20-second deficit, no matter how big the gap between the hard and the soft tire. 20 seconds is no small margin that he has to try and make up.
And now you can start to see a little bit of feathering on that right front tire. If you just keep an eye on it, you see the little lines start to appear. Ware's definitely coming, and he's catching lap traffic. That's going to slow him down as well. So it's, I was just going to say, it's a good time to maybe duck in before these lap cars slow him down. He's on the push to pass. You know he's trying to get to the pit as quickly as possible.
Going to be fascinating to see where he comes out. Last time he pitted, he came out just ahead of Felix Rosenqvist, who was at the lead of his particular pack at that moment. The driver he is pretty much assured to come out almost at the exact same point of the track as right now is Christian Lundgaard. Let's see where he comes out. Jack is waiting for him though down on pit lane.
I am, and they are already set up with that black sidewall hard tire. This has been such an impressive run for Will. We've already said how good this 12 team are with pit stops, and right now there is a little bit of a bubble there. Finally down pit lane.
Long fuel for Will Power, but only 7.1 seconds stopped. He exits pit lane. Whereabouts is Christian Lundgaard, and only now is Lundgaard coming down and past pit exit. Power retakes his position ahead of Lundgaard. We heard the message earlier. The strategies are converging. Both Power and Lundgaard need but one stop each. How long can they go? How much time will Power lose on those hard tire? And how much will they fight? How much will they want it on that final stint when they will both be on the soft tire?
I said at the start of the race that there's 25 other drivers outside of Palou and Award that are auditioning. Power for his future. Christian Lundgaard trying to demonstrate the faith that Zach Brown and McLaren put in bringing him into this organization. He has delivered this weekend so far in pace. He's delivered this season with podiums. But we know in this business, James, it's about winning. It is about mastering the art and demonstrating, hey, I'm just as good, I might be better than Alex Palou down the stretch. Huge opportunity to notch up his second win today.
And Alex Palou is one of the fastest drivers on the track. Last lap of 1 minute 1.0. That is, once again, 3/4 of a second faster than the drivers ahead of him, Christian Lundgaard and Will Power. The gap to the lead down, it was 20 seconds a few laps ago. It's down to 13 now for Alex Palou as he tries to draw in the two ahead of him. All of them need just one more pit stop. All of them going for the victory today.
How about this? We're not used to seeing this. Will Team Penske 0 wins in the first 14 races. Their worst season since 1999. But Power has an opportunity to right the ship today for the captain.
Will Power leading now by 1.2 seconds from Christian Lundgaard. Guys, how much is Lundgaard just waiting? Just sitting there, not making the move. Just thinking, you know what? I'm going to bide my time. I don't need to take the lead right now. I can sit here happily knowing that I'm going to have the fresher rubber and the advantage will come to me in the later laps.
He can't, because he knows there's a hard-charging Alex Palou that is closing the gap, and there his crew is ready. Brian Barnhart, the strategist, in command on the pit box. His McLaren team going to give him 4 freshies and fuel to close it out.
Got to get down to just 45 miles an hour, Kevin. Not easy to do coming off the racetrack with used tires.
So he's going to need all of the Shell fuel that he can get to go these final 30 laps. But the key is the fresh, brand new set of soft red sidewalled Firestones. Will Power does not have that available. Alex Palou does. So there are still 3 in play. Let's watch the stop for Arrow McLaren. And Lundgaard is back out.
Every last drop of Shell 100% renewable fuel goes into that McLaren. Christian Lundgaard is on his way. That is his final stop for his stop. Out on track, Will Power is under pressure from Lundgaard. This is a 3-way fight for the win. Your championship leader emerges in what will be a podium position, but he has the time now to make up to the drivers ahead of him. Lundgaard is behind Power, but Power is being caught out by the fact that Marcus Ericsson just left his pit stop ahead of the duo, and that has put Power right into the grasp and the clutches of the McLaren driver.
And because Marcus Ericsson is holding up Will Power a little bit and Christian Lundgaard, the yellow and red car of Alex Palou is going to have a chance here to close that probably 6-second gap, and this is going to be a 3-way battle for the win.
Lundgaard has got to make the tire advantage work, and work now. He has the fresh tires. Will Power ahead of him has the used tires. Yes, that will have an effect at the end of the stint, but it's the start where Lundgaard will have that immediate bite.
Guys, this is nightmare fuel for Will Power, seeing a car that's not quite a lap down yet, but you're significantly quicker than, but he's got fresh tires as well. He pit on the same lap as Will Power, has the softs on as well, and now he is having to try to start that attack on Ericsson while having one eye in his mirror, keeping Lundgaard behind him. He's playing offense and defense at the same time.
And he started on used tires, so now he's using up valuable Firestone rubber that he cannot afford to give away because he's in the dirty air of Marcus Ericsson's car. It puts even more demand on his tires.
But the grunt in that Honda engine is likely to allow Ericsson to stay ahead of both, even if Ericsson's losing out in the corners. Chevy versus Chevy in Power versus Lundgaard. The Honda engine in Palou, though. Oh, and that's Joseph Newgarden, who was in the top 10. It looks like a spin, and like he is down at turn 1.
Yeah, it's coming out of turn 2 there.
This actually helps his teammate Will Power a little bit. If a full course caution were to come out, it takes a little bit of the heat off.
There'll be a yellow flag into turn 1 right now, so even if Lundgaard was close enough, he couldn't make the move.
Ray Hall in the pits means Power is back to being the legitimate race leader. Lundgaard second, Palou third, and this a replay of what happened. And it was as he left the pits on cold tires, tries to light it up as Scott Dixon takes the fight to him. Oh no, Scott hits him.
God help.
1.8 seconds now, the gap between himself and race leader Will Power, who is driving beautifully to keep that faster McLaren of Lundgaard behind him on the fresher tires with the momentum on his side, but Power on the older tires is actually extending his advantage over Lundgaard to the tune of around a half a tenth a second a lap. He's almost got a full second now over the McLaren driver, and all of that with the Andretti ahead of him. 1.5 car lengths becomes a car length. Alex Palou goes to the inside. Alex Palou has second place from Lundgaard. Needs to get his foot down and keep his foot in through the left, down the back stretch. Lundgaard takes it back to Palou. It seems reminiscent of Thermal Club earlier this year. The championship leader will know he will have to fight with all he has to get past Lundgaard, who says, not right now. You are not coming through because this race today is mine and not yours.
Brilliant stuff from Christian Lundgaard to cross up Alex Palou and force him wide down the backstretch on the dirty side of the racetrack. Lundgaard complaining, I believe, that he doesn't have power, but it looked pretty speedy to me on that backstretch.
Wheel to wheel with Palou down the back straight. He looked okay. It was the grip through turn 6 that allowed Palou to set up that lunge into 7. Great driving from both guys there.
But all of that battling has allowed Power to stretch his legs just that bit, give him that little bit of breathing room. Not close enough. Power goes to have a look at Ericsson. Ericsson will close the door, as is his right. Power gets through. Lundgaard gets through. Palou gets through. The top 3 remain line astern on the run down to 4.
Classy move from Marcus Ericsson there. Once Power got up to the inside of him, he figured, look, I'm going to let these guys battle it out for the win. I don't want to be a factor here in who wins this race. Honorable mention there to the 28.
Well, somebody that's not going to let anybody go is Christian Lundgaard. He is defending so well.
As Alex Palou gets incredibly close and has a look at the inside of Lundgaard, but Lundgaard slams that door shut in his face.
Kirkwood trying to get out of the way of this battle. That opened an opportunity for Palou. Not quite close enough to get it done, though. This is tense, guys.
Oh, boy. And Will Power down to 8 seconds left. And look there. Palou still with 35. Push to pass advantage stays for the driver of the 10. Boy, would Will Power love nothing more than to lap David Malukas and just put an absolute flagpole down here in Portland.
Malukas is moving out of his way.
He will.
And Malukas' job now is clear.
The other guys.
Be the Penske man and hold those 2 up. Let Will Power run away.
That was Will Power saying, hold up the other guys.
Well, I mean, part of the reason he got that help was because...
hold up the other guys like Kiffin did to me.
Oh, like Kiffin did for me. Again, there's a technical partnership between Foyt and Penske and Palou.
Here we go, around the outside for Alex Palou. It'll become the inside, and he's out and on the gravel, on the grass, bouncing around.
Whoa, what a save. What a save.
Alex Palou keeps it, gets it back on the track. But my word, that was close between those two in fighting for that final podium position.
But how amazing for the guy whose job sits on the bubble to be the one today. What a position that puts the team in going forward.
Yeah, you'd be remiss to not mention, you know, Lundgaard had a couple great shots at wins, things beyond his control, took him out of contention, but that, as they say, is racing. This guy has been calm and steady all season long. Highest running Penske in the points right now in 9th, and this would be a great result and jump him up to 6th position.
The call is no pressure, and yet pressure is what has been on Will Power's shoulders from the very first race of this season. Question marks from the preseason into the first race and at every round of this series. Is this his final year with Penske? He himself does not know. But with the drive of a champion today, Will Power asks the question, oh captain, my captain, dare you drop me? Dare you get rid of the man who has led this team year after year, who has more poles, who is faster than any driver in the history of this series, who will win once again. Will Power returns to victory lane and puts Penske back on the top step of the podium.
Oh, good job, boys, all weekend. Very good job, very good job.
Lundgaard home second, and while the day belongs to Power, the year belongs to Palou. Alex Palou is a 4-time IndyCar champion. Your 2025 NTT INDYCAR Series champion. Well, he held up a 4 on both of his hands. And honestly, this kind of
foreshadowing,
form, I wouldn't be surprised if he does surpass his teammate Scott Dixon with 6 and the all-time great AJ Foyt with 7.